Hey guys, welcome back to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath Holland. This is everything that was released by Kino Lorber for the month of June 2024. There's even something in here from July. You'll be seeing it before anybody else. It arrived in time for me to include it, so why not? As always, there's a few things that haven't arrived in time for this video. There's a few things that are in this stack from a month or two previously that weren't here in time for that video, because I do these every month. Every month I look at everything from Kino Lorber. I love making these videos. Thanks to Kino Lorber for sending this stuff to me to share with you, and thanks to you guys for watching it. So listen, I'm going to go faster than I normally do here. Last month's episode was almost an hour, and it was less titles than this. So I need this to be, this needs to be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to go as expediently as possible. We're going to start with 4Ks because I think that's the most buzzworthy thing in these hauls. Bad Lieutenant on 4K. Harvey Keitel, Abel Ferrara's Dirty Cop movie. So you know, I can even flip this around and you can be looking at that while we talk about it. This is a movie that is, I mean, it's a really crazy movie. It's really something. And if you've seen the Bad Lieutenant, what is it, Port of Call, New Orleans with Nicolas Cage, trying to kind of replicate what this movie did, but it's different thing. Audio commentary by Abel Ferrara and the cinematographer Ken Kelch. It all happens here. Abel Ferrara on the making of Bad Lieutenant. It's a documentary. We've got a Bad Neighborhoods, the locations of Bad Lieutenant, and Ken and Abel, this interview with the cinematographer. We do not have any alternate artwork. I believe for every single one of these, I have flipped the art when that was an option. This is a big deal to me. Invasion of the Body Snatchers on 4K. Now, we've got the remake on 4K, but I prefer this. I'm always usually a champion of original over, you know, later interpretations, and that's the case here, too. This is, I think it's Don Siegel, you guys. This is an incredibly famous science fiction movie. The metaphors, pretty apparent for those that are looking for what might have been going on in the Cold War era, 1956. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master from a 4K scan of the best 35mm elements. What did this say it was? 4K scan of the 35mm OCN, the original camera negative. This thing is... Look at that alternate artwork. This thing is loaded. Audio commentary by stars Kevin McCarthy and Dana Winter, moderated by Joe Dante. What? Audio commentary by film historian Richard Harlan Smith. Audio commentary by Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson. Audio commentary by professor and film scholar Jason A. Nye. Listen, that's 4 audio commentaries. The Fear is Real featurette with filmmakers Larry Cohen and Joe Dante. The Stranger in Your Lover's Eyes featurette, and then No Longer Belong, the rise and fall of Walter Wanger. I've heard Wanger, I've heard Wanger. Do you have an opinion? You can express it in the comments below. Incredible film, and a genuine science fiction classic that gets more relevant. You know, all the stuff in these 50 science fiction movies, you know, you can make fun of them, sure. You can look at the strings and certain effects. You can be able to reference the remake. You can look at this old stuff and go like, oh. But I think that the themes of these movies are, they only get more true as time goes on. Narrow Margin, Gene Hackman, who is still with us, you guys. Gene Hackman and Archer. I better knock on wood for that. Gene Hackman and Ann Archer. This is I'm trying to remember who directed this. Written and directed by Peter Hyams. We've got an audio commentary with Peter Hyams. We've got an audio commentary by Peter Tongetz. Making a featurette, selected sound bites and B-rolls, and the theatrical trailer. No alternate art here. I'm showing you as proof and to double check myself in case I missed it. More 4Ks, still rolling with the 4Ks. Ray Liotta, Lauren Holly, Turbulence, 1997. Oh, hold on. What was the source here? They do not give us the 4K restoration notes for Narrow Margin. However, for Turbulence, new Dolby Vision HDR Master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative. We've got an audio commentary by the director Robert Butler, moderated by filmmaker Joe Begos, and we've got theatrical trailer. How do I want to talk about these? These are movies that... just solid movies, right? The movies that kind of built catalogs. And, you know, I'm a fan of the movies that are just quietly competent, and they might not have won Oscars, and they might not have been the biggest box office success, but they're just solid, good movies. That's kind of the sweet spot that I like this channel to live in. And Blown Away 4K falls under that category too. This came out around the same time, if memory serves, this came out around the same time as Speed. And it was another one of those like mad bomber movies where like, I'm going to do this. It's Tommy Lee Jones. Interestingly, let's see, after Under Siege, after The Fugitive, but before he was Two-Face in Batman Forever. And it's kind of walking the line there because he's pretty big. He's pretty big in this movie. In terms of performance is what I mean. But Speed got all the attention. Speed got the success because that was Dennis Hopper. And he's like, you know, all right, you gotta, what do you do? What do you know? That is very quotable. This movie, but you know what? This movie has Jeff Bridges in it. And this movie also has, it's got all the Bridges in it, doesn't it? Now I'm trying to remember. I know it's got Lloyd Bridges, yeah. Forrest Whitaker. I'm trying to remember if Bo is in this movie. Is there a scene with Bo? Is Bo in Blown Away? It's been a while since I've seen Blown Away. But I really liked it. I bought this movie on VHS. I bought it on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray now. I have it on 4K. Audio commentary by director Stephen Hopkins. Audio commentary by film historians Mike Leader and Arn Venema. The making of Blown Away. The trailer. The guy was like, blown away. Rated R. A Day in the Life of a Bomb Squad. Take Me Home music video. Any alternate art? No. Guess what? Monk is done. They have put out all of Monk. We got season 7 and season 8 that have arrived. That is now. I know that there's like some after series movies and things like that. I know it has continued, but it was an 8-season show, correct? And we now have all 8 seasons on Blu-ray. Season 7 has Anatomy of an Episode featurette with stars Tony Shalhoub, Traylor Howard, guest star Bob Costas, and members of the Monk crew. Traylor Howard, by the way, I Love Two Guys and a Girl and a Pizza Place, or whatever they changed the name to, with Ryan Reynolds, and nice stuff there. This is before Monk. 6 video commentaries, 5 Little Monk webisodes, Monk PI promotional ad. This has a video. Season 8 has a video commentary for Mr. Monk and the End with Tony Shalhoub, series creator, episode writer Andy Breckman, and episode director Randall Zisk. Mr. Monk says goodbye. Featurette with Tony Shalhoub, is all the people associated with the film. Set tours, the making of the final season with co-producer Doug Neighbors. Interviews with Tony Shalhoub, Traylor Howard, Jason Gray Stanford, and Andy Breckman. So somebody asked me the other day, do I think that Kino Lorber will be putting out a complete series box set? I don't think so. Now, I don't know. I don't work for Kino Lorber, and I don't know. But I think the point of putting them out individually was deliberate, and I think that was because they needed to recoup. I'm guessing that they needed to recoup some sort of an income back for that. Usually, when you get a complete series box set, that's later down the road after the individuals have done what they're going to do, right? I think to count on that, if that's ever coming, it's probably a long way in the future. These things are not done by accident. Guess what? Columbo, this is the return. This is the 1989 to 2003. This is going to be your second half of Columbo. Columbo now complete on Blu-ray. This is a July release. It was here in time. I said, you know what? I got to show the people Columbo. Frank Tarzi announced Columbo here on Serial at Midnight. When it was announced that this was going to get a Blu-ray, it was done here during one of my exclusive interviews with Frank Tarzi, which I loved doing. And now Columbo is complete, and I'm really excited about it. And it's a lot smaller. It's not a lot smaller. It's a little bit smaller than the previous the half. You know, it was a TV series. It's part of a rotating wheel of mystery shows in the 70s. And after its first life, it came back sporadically as like a TV movie of the week for 14 years. So this is going to be the rest of the series on these two two packs here, and they don't have, let's see, what do we have? Remastered in 4K by NBC Universal. That's noteworthy right there. Episode guide booklets, newly commissioned slipcase cover illustration by Tony Stella. I love Tony Stella's work. Let's see if we can find that booklet and I can show it to you guys. Yes. Great shot. I mean, Columbo, all in all, spanned about 35 years, which is incredible. And yet there's still only something like, what is it, like 60-something episodes or something like that, because they were movie length, an hour and 15 minutes without commercials. Film Noir, The Dark Side of Cinema 19. You know I love my Film Noir box sets. I guess I can announce now I'm on Volume 20. When that arrives, I am on Volume 20. I did a commentary for the film. It's an Alan Ladd film called Appointment with Danger. That I did a commentary with Max Allan Collins. If you've seen my videos with Max Allan Collins talking about a variety of topics like noir and westerns, and there's a Private Eye video coming up soon, there's a dragnet connection to Appointment with Danger. And I was like, Max and I have to talk about this because he loves dragnet. He's an expert on dragnet and that whole Jack Webb thing. So we'll talk about it when it arrives. It's too soon. That's still a whole box set away, but it's coming, and I wanted you guys to know about it. Film Noir, The Dark Side of Cinema 19 has Dark City with Charlton Heston. It's 2022 HD master by Paramount from a 4K scan. Commentary by Alan K. Rohde. No Man of Her Own, wonderful film with Barbara Stanwyck and John Lund. Audio commentary by Imogene Sarah Smith, and another commentary by Julie Kurgo and Peter Hankoff. And then, let me make sure I keep these in order here. And then Beware My Lovely, Ida Lupino. I'm always happy when we get another Ida Lupino film on Blu-ray. And Robert Ryan is in this one as well. I really love Robert Ryan. By all reports, a really sweetheart of a guy, but he was able to play such gritty characters. Do these all have the same notes? 2022, yeah, Paramount has done 4K restorations for all three of these. But, and obviously these are 2K, they're on Blu-rays, so you're not seeing that. But audio commentary by film professor and scholar Jason A. Ney, who we just referenced earlier. Love these sets. Glad that they continue. I can't believe, I remember when I had the first 5. You had 5 for the longest time. And then they were like, well, we're going to do a 6. And now we're coming up on 20. And it seems like it's just going to keep going. And that's a testament to where home video is and where we are as fans of this stuff. Orson Welles' Macbeth. This is a huge deal. This is Orson Welles' output, his creative. You could study Orson Welles as a filmmaker, as a creator. This is his adaptation of Macbeth that he, produced and directed by. It's a Republic picture. So, though I champion Republic for all the serials and the westerns and all of that, I love Republic pictures. They did things like this, too, which are very, very notable. There's 2 versions of this. There's a 1948 original version and a 1950 re-release version. The theatrical original version is 119 minutes, so almost 2 hours. For the re-release, 2 years later, they cut it down to 85 minutes. They cut like 34 minutes out of the movie. So, but that's Orson Welles' his lot in life. He was never quite understood or appreciated by people, and he was always the underdog, right? And he was, he's mercurial and hard to create with and for. But I also think he was a genius. And, I think, to quote Max Allan Collins, we talked about The Lady from Shanghai, which is another Orson Welles film. It's a noir that I really like. And he said, what a curse it is to be the boy genius, essentially. This is Max Allan Collins talking about Orson Welles. When you make Citizen Kane, it's all downhill from there. You peak early, and then forever people are trying to, but this isn't this other thing that you did. Audio commentary by Tim Lucas. Audio commentary by Joseph McBride. Wells on Shakespeare. That's an interview with film historian Michael Anderegg. That was Orson Welles. Interview with the legendary filmmaker Peter Bogdanovich. Restoring Macbeth. That's an interview with the archivist Robert Gitt. And then Free Republic. Herbert J. Yates and the Story of Republic Pictures. Yes! Price of admission on that featurette right there. That's an interview with archivist Mark Wanamaker. Hold on. I think this... Yes. Alternate cover art. 2 films starring Veronica Lake. We've got The Hour Before the Dawn. which was it was Universal, 1944 Universal. She was also making movies for Paramount in the 1940s. This actually, okay, I took me a second. I was like, this actually is a Paramount picture, and so is Saigon, because this is a reteaming of Alan Ladd. I just told you I did an Alan Ladd commentary for Appointment with Danger. I'm becoming an Alan Ladd. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I would say that I'm an Alan Ladd enthusiast, and I've spent a lot of time with him, especially over the last year or so. And and there might be more coming. Wink, wink. But Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake basically his career launched in movies that she was in. And later in the 1940s, this is 1948, they reteamed. The magic's not quite there in Saigon, but it's still Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake. It's still better than most of the other stuff that was coming out at the time. So these are Paramount films that have ended up in the Universal Library because of the TV deal that was struck. In the 1950s, Universal bought hundreds of Paramount films for television distribution, to package them for television, because that was, the industry was moving towards television, so they needed product to sell to the syndicators and to TV stations. That's where the monster, the shock theater packages came from, things like that, like selling packages to theaters. So anyway, both of these are absolutely essential for me, for my own library. This has let's see, the Hour Before the Dawn has an audio commentary by Paul Talbot. And did I say it's a 1944 film? Brand new HD master from a 2K scan of the 35mm original fine grain. And then Saigon has a brand new HD master from the same source, 2K scan of the 35mm original fine grain. Audio commentary by Lee Gambin and Alyssa Rose. Rest in peace, Lee Gambin. He's gone, but we're still getting to spend a little time with him, which is really something. The North Star and the Armored... the North Star and Armored Attack. This is the same film, but two different versions of the film. So it first came out in 1943 as the North Star, and it was let's see, how did they do? 1941, when the school year ends, 5 friends from a small Ukrainian village decide to travel to Kiev. Their trip is cut short when German aircraft attack their town, and it falls under occupation. Okay, so that was 1943. In 1957, it's 106 minutes, by the way. So, an hour and 46 minutes. So 1943. In 1957, during the whole Red Scare, the communist, the anti-communist, the McCarthy era, this movie gets recut. They cut it down to 76 minutes. They changed the whole tone to be like very anti-communist. Insert all these messages into it, and release it like that in 1957 under the title Armored Attack. Now, it's got the theatrical cut. The original cut was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Cinematography, Best Music, and Best Original Screenplay. So it's interesting that both of those cuts are preserved here, sort of a history lesson in a box. They have the North Star poster art on one side of the art wrap, and then they have the Armored Attack art wrap on the other side of the art wrap. So I think that's really interesting that they've included both versions. There are no special features here, though you could say having 2 cuts of the film is a special feature. But I think that's really interestingly and well done. Death Machine from Stephen Norrington. Now, you might know this movie better by this artwork. It's a 1994 movie starring Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky. Also, Grima Wormtongue from The Two Towers, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings adaptation. It's a Stephen Norrington film who if you know, Stephen Norrington doesn't work anymore. His last film, he did Blade. He did the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I talked to Don Murphy, the producer of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, about that movie. We didn't get too deep into it, but he did talk to me about, he was like, that's the movie. I will reference you to my Don Murphy interview. Don Murphy, producer of Natural Born Killers, producer of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the Double Dragon movie, and then later, all the, those little Transformers movies that made billions for Paramount. So I produced those as well. But it was interesting to get the producer's take on that. Stephen Norrington there's no. I want an audio commentary for this movie with Brad Dourif. He's the star of the movie. I want an audio commentary with Brad Dourif. It doesn't exist because I think nobody wants to talk about working with Stephen Norrington. Now that might be considered a hot take by some people, but if you dig into the internet, and you should, there's a lot of people that seem to not want to talk about him, to work with him. He was apparently difficult. He was a difficult collaborator. Hence, the commentary that we have here is from HorrorFix.com's James G. Chandler and Ash Hamilton. We have 3 cuts of the film: the 100-minute U.S. cut, the 122-minute foreign cut, and a 106-minute director's cut. We got audio conversation with Stephen Norrington and legendary creature creator and makeup effects artist Alec Gillis. 5 separate on-camera interviews with composer Crispin Merrill, editor Paul Endicott, costume designer Stephanie Colley, producer Ray Burtis, and co-producer Stuart St. Paul. 2 image galleries, 3 trailers, and more. I should also mention, I've never spoken to Stephen Norrington. I have only seen what I've read on the internet, and there's a lot of people that seem to want to talk about it. Everything I have heard is secondhand. None of it is from the source. So just to be very clear, it's hearsay. Okay. Jeff Speakman in The Perfect Weapon. So Jeff Speakman was a martial artist. Was in a couple of dozen, I guess, action movies in various capacities. This was sort of the star vehicle for him. 91 peak. Like, we're talking Van Damme. We're talking Dolph Lundgren. We're talking that snapshot in time where we're getting these Steven Seagal, that sort of a thing. Jeff Speakman comes out with this film, and I don't know. I think it's a cult classic, but I don't know how many people know this movie. No gun, no knife, no equal. Brand new HD master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative. Audio commentary by Mark DeSalle and action film historian Mike Leader. Street Speed interview with star Jeff Speakman. Deleted and extended scenes. No alternate cover art here. Pursued, Teresa Wright, Robert Mitchum. We got another one that's right up my alley. This is a 2022 HD master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative, dupe negative, and composite print. It's a lot of notes there. So I gather they had this is from, this is a lot of work went into this. It's a Raoul Walsh film. And my goodness, I'm so happy that it's here. And we have an introduction from Martin Scorsese. So he's happy that it's here too. Pursuit is the story of Jeb's love for his stepsister Thorley, which triggers a fatal gun battle with her brother Adam. Despite the tragedy, she marries Jeb. And anyway, it's 47. The Chase. Is this a re-release? I feel like we've talked about The Chase before, but I'm not sure. It could have been from another company, that's happening because Kino Lorber is picking up licenses that were with other labels like Olive Films. Olive is gone now. Frank Tarzi worked at Olive Films. Frank Tarzi's bringing over movies that he worked on at Olive now that he's at Kino Lorber. This is Robert Cummings, Michelle Morgan, Steve Cochran, and Peter Lorre. My friend Anastasia Elfman loves Peter Lorre. She loves Lon Chaney Sr. and Peter Lorre. And I have to let her know that, did you know that this Peter Lorre movie just hit Blu-ray? Mastered in HD from 35mm elements preserved by the UCLA Film and Television Archive. Audio commentary by filmmaker Guy Madden. 2 radio adaptations of Cornell Woolrich's source novel, The Black Path of Fear, starring Cary Grant and Brian Dunleavy. So incredible pedigree on both of those. If you know your classic films, that's great. All right, that's Kino Lorber Studio Classics. Now we're going to embark on Kino Lorber and the partner labels. This is a wide spectrum of releases. I should also mention it's June was Pride Month, so there's an extra helping of LGBTQ movies. I should start with those. What I was going to start with it's not that thing. So we have 2 from Arthur Dong. These are collections of Arthur Dong documentary shorts and short films. This is Coming Out Under Fire, License to Kill, Family Fundamentals. Looking at the historical, this is the idea of some of these things. Coming Out Under Fire profiles gay and lesbian World War II service members confronting their military's first anti-gay policies. I'm going to hit that again. Gay World War II soldiers So I know there's this truly nothing is new, guys, and this is looking at the history of some of these subjects through the lens of history. I said history twice, I know. But anyway, I'm going to hold this up and let you guys read that. And then also Arthur Dong's Asian American Stories. So this is going to be about the Asian community in cinema. The Academy Award-winning nominated short documentary "Sewing Woman" from 1982 is the bittersweet journey of one woman's determination to survive. Anyway, it goes on and on. So here I'm going to hold both of these up. I'm going to hold them close to the camera, let you freeze them. The Old Oak. This is Kino Lorber in association with Zeitgeist Films. This is interesting because it's about a pub. A humane, hopeful tale of empathy and solidarity. The final film from Ken Loach is The Old Oak, is a deeply moving drama about loss, fear, and difficulty finding hope. The Old Oak is the last pub standing in the once thriving mining village in northern England, a gathering space for the community. Anyway. This, Remembering Gene Wilder. This is getting a ton of press. It's on Netflix if you want to stream it, but you can own it now because of Kino Lorber. It's so funny. My daughter watched a documentary the other day on Netflix. She was like, I watched this documentary. Actually, I don't think it was a documentary. I think it was a pseudo, like it was documentary style, but it was a film. And she said it was done by Kino Lorber, and I thought of you, which made me happy. So this is, of course, a documentary about the great Gene Wilder, and with the Blu-ray, you know, if you stream it, if you liked it, if you saw it on Netflix and you like it, well, this has bonus features, additional interviews with Mel Brooks, Harry Connick Jr., Burton Gilliam, Carol Kane, Ben Mankiewicz, Peter Ostrom, Karen Wilder, and Alan Zweibel. Great stuff. Was there anything? No, sometimes there's a booklet in here. There is not for this. Mouthpiece. This is a brilliant black comedy from director Patricia Rozema, adapted to, I've heard The Mermaid Singing, adapted from the play by Annie Nostbakken and Nora Sedava. It follows Cassandra, an aspiring writer who, while struggling to compose a eulogy, just reading the back to you guys again. I'm going to hold this up and let you guys read that. When Night is Falling, Patricia Rozema. Hold that up and let you guys see it. And some of these, because my interest is in classic Hollywood and classic film, some of these I just don't know a lot about. When we get into film history, Gene Wilder, of course, that is film history. Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, and then Willy Wonka. My goodness, some of this stuff I just know a little bit more about than others, which I just haven't seen. White Room, Kate Nellington, in a film by Patricia Rozema. So you're seeing a theme here with the director. This, the way they talk about this, they say, let's see. Imagine a Brian De Palma script directed by Jane Campion, and then that's from Time Out. And then the Washington Post said a subversive gothic fairy tale that might have been cut from Blue Velvet by Edward Scissorhands. That's interesting to me. So we've got special features. We've got an audio commentary with the director. We've got behind-the-scenes image gallery. This Might Be Good from 2000. It's a short film by Patricia Rozema. Alternate French audio. Anyway. Lost Souls. By the way, I always save something for the very end that I think you guys are going to be like, ooh. And I had to get out the black tape for it, okay? So stay tuned. Lost Souls, when an aspiring rapper, Saul, is discovered by a group of Gen Z musicians at a party. He joins their tour through the heart of Texas and embarks on a once-in-a-lifetime adventure, leaving behind his best friend and the surrogate family who embraced him. So if any of that sounds up your alley, Lost Souls with a Z. Souls. This, I believe, was a May release, but it might have even been before that. It says Il Capitano. Nominated for Best International Feature at the Academy Awards and from acclaimed director of Gomorrah and Dogman, Il Capitano narrates the epic journey of a teenage boy and his cousin as they decide to leave Senegal for the promise of Europe. And we've got Q&A with various members of the cast and crew, or the film. Oh, movie history. the Ernst Lubitsch collection. We have Anne Boleyn. This is probably timed, if I had to guess. This release has been timed because the name of the film is failing me, but Jude Law was just in a movie where he plays Henry VIII, and it's about one of the wives. I'm failing to remember which wife it is, but this is, of course, about Anne Boleyn, married to Henry VIII. So probably a timely, topical release. The tragic story of the second wife of England's Henry VIII is dramatized on a grand scale by Ernst Lubitsch, utilizing the full resources of the UFA Studios. Let's see, it's 1920, 123 minutes. I'm looking for special. There are no special features, but my goodness, you guys, we are getting these silent films in presentations like we ain't never had before, and I'm really excited about it because I love. Well, I've talked to you guys about it before. We talked about the Vitagraph comedies, and we've talked about, you know, from other labels and other companies, like silent film. When people are looking for things to put out, there's only so many horror movies, right? There's only so many films, so they just are digging into silent films and discovering how we haven't changed is one of my favorite things about silent films. Copa 71. This is a documentary that was executive produced by Serena and Venus Williams and Alex Morgan. Extraordinary story of the 1971 Women's World Cup, which was held in Mexico City. Until now, let's see. It was dismissed by FIFA and written out of sports history until now. Hold on. Let me do that right. This extraordinary story of the 1971 Women's World Cup, which was held in Mexico City and witnessed by more than 100,000 fans. This landmark tournament was dismissed by FIFA and written out of sports history. Until now. From the dawn of time we came, moving silently, as no one has ever known we were among you. Until now. Hidden Master, the legacy of George Platt Linz. The life and legacy of pioneering artist George Platt Linz, who took radically explicit photographs of the male nude. I'd better not show the back of this just to be on the safe side. But if you are into that, there's a documentary about it. There's a documentary about boxing, if you're into boxing, and the Company of Kings. Tales of courage, friendship, and despair from sports' meanest streets. They talk to, let's see, journey into the dark heart of American boxing to talk to 8 former world champs and those closest to his hero, Muhammad Ali. All about race, struggle, victory, defeat, and picking yourself up off the canvas. Featuring Larry Holmes, Bernard Hopkins, Tim Witherspoon, Ernie Shavers, the Spinks brothers, Bob Arum, and more. Let's see. Nowhere Special. This movie sounds devastating. James Norton from Bob Marley, One Love, Happy Valley, Little Women, stars as John, a 35-year-old window cleaner who he has a 4-year-old son. He's dying. He's got to find a home for his son. That sounds not. Listen, that's the thing. It's like the older you get, the harder it becomes to take emotional leaps like that. Not leaps, but like to let yourself be vulnerable to a story like that, you know? Bonus features interview with Alberto Pasolini, James Norton, and Daniel Lamont by Anna Smith, the making of Nowhere Special. So anyway, I know there's a lot of people that just really enjoy these films that present, I mean, I'm all about the humanity of films. We're living in genre land now where humanity seems all but lost, but there's a place for that. I need to get outside my comfort zone more. I also need time to do that, right? This is the last one, and I told you the black tape. Nude for Satan. So this is a redemption film. I cannot show you the back, but I will read it to you. While driving through the countryside late at night, Dr. Benson finds a crashed car with a woman hanging out of it. The doctor puts the girl in his car and drives for help in the nearest house, which turns out to be a mysterious castle. When he knocks on the door, he is greeted by a woman who looks exactly the same as the injured woman. This woman invites them both to stay for the night, and the doctor soon discovers that his host is not only the one in the castle, and that this is not the only one in the castle, and that this beautiful woman is concealing a terrible secret. This Italian Gothic is the most demented, with lashings of 1970s style sex, whippings, Satanism, lesbianism, nudity, dubious haircuts, and lust-crazed arachnid with a taste for sadomasochism and women in stockings. A truly extraordinary film. It's 1974. It's in widescreen. There are no special features here. The quote here, from 10kbullets.org. This is an exploitative film. This is an exploitative film that is knee-deep in nudity, Satanism, and lesbianism. There you go. All right, that is our complete haul. Let's continue to talk about the films. Obviously, my heart is in the studio picture. It's in Hollywood of the past because there's so much to study there. These films are being forgotten. One of my goals for this channel, especially with these videos, is to shine a spotlight on movies that nobody is talking about, actors that nobody is talking about. Just because a movie exists before we were born, it does not mean that it has nothing to offer us, and there's so much out there waiting to be discovered. That's my goal. That's my mission statement, to get you to watch more movies. This is one way to spread the word. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Thanks to Kino Lorber for sending these films over for me to share with you. If you've seen some of these movies, let's talk about them. If you have recommendations, if you've seen any of these independent films, these foreign films, let's talk about them in the comments below. I would love to get the perspective of somebody who has had time to see them, to live with them, to absorb them, and to know what they think about them. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Till next time. Oh, hold on. Subscribe to this channel. Ring the bell. Do all the things to support the... If you subscribe, if you leave a comment, and if you do a thumbs up, you are helping this channel immensely in the algorithm of YouTube, which pushes down things, guys. There's so much content being blasted and fire hosed at viewers every single day. The algorithm really works on engagement. So even if you don't have much to say, if you're just like, cool, thanks, or like, I like this, whatever, you know, if you do that and with the thumbs ups, like, that's really helping the channel. So if you want to take it even a step further, there's memberships. I put up an exclusive members video every single week. This week was Collecting at Midnight, a mini-sode talking about what I'm buying, watching, reading, thinking about in terms of my own fandom and collecting habits, and that is just for members. So this is just a peek about like what kind of things I'm making. It's not like you know, they have value. They have their substance to them. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Take care. Till next time. I will catch you later.